Rich lifers, are you being honest with yourself? Are you stealing from yourself? Are you harming yourself? Okay, so now that you think about all these things and you're like, no, 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 because you're thinking about these external things. You're thinking about materialistic things. You're thinking about the things that you can see. You're thinking about the things you can feel with your fingers. You're thinking about your senses. So when I was in my yoga teacher training yesterday, we were talking about the yamas and niyamas. And so a lot of the times, satya is truth. And then, what is it? Asteya is non-stealing. And ahimsa is non-violence, right? And so we look at, okay, what truth are you telling yourself? The truth that you believe within is how you show up in your day-to-day life. So what you believe about yourself is what creates your perception of yourself, okay? How, and this goes back into the truth that you are choosing to live in your world. I always tell people, in your world, this is true. In your world, this is true for you. I remember even now people are like, how are you a mom but you're doing this, you're doing Pilates, you're doing yoga, you're ride motorcycles, you're a speaker, you do all these things? Because being a mom is not my identity. Being a motorcycle rider is not my identity. Being a yoga instructor or a Pilates instructor is not my identity. There's no thing outside of me that is my identity. I am my identity. And so that's something for you. I am my identity. And so that's where the question of who am I comes into play. Who are you? Who are you? Who did you come here to be? What does it look like living in and on purpose, right? Dharma. So I'm using these particular phrases because I'm in this course right now, this yoga course. But in real life, take that away and simplify it. What did you come here to serve? How are you serving humanity? What is your one thing? And sometimes we think service has to be on this grand level where you're serving the nation or you're serving the international. But no, it starts first with yourself. So like even when you wake up, the rituals that you do, I call them rituals, but the steps that you take to get ready in the morning, that is serving. That is living in truth. When I get up out my bed, I am worth the time that it takes to make up my bed. I am worth the time that it takes to brush my teeth and wash my face. I am worth the time of bathing. I am worth the time that it takes to. That's what you're going to say. I am worth the time that it takes to make my coffee. I am worth the time that it takes to make my morning breakfast. I am worth the time that it takes to work out and go to the gym. Because when you start moving like that, then you're shifting yourself from scarcity into abundance. We talked about scarcity somewhere in here. Non-stealing, yes, because you're stealing from yourself. Asteya. These are the ways by which you're stealing from yourself. It is a discipline that transforms your abundance, transforms your scarcity to abundance. You can steal time, credit. Like if somebody says, oh, who did that? And they be like, me. And you just sitting there and somebody, it's like, bro, you didn't have nothing to do with that. What are you talking about? Credit, ideas. So all of a sudden, like this be a thing, y'all. Every time I be like, oh, I'm doing a podcast, there's this one person, and I don't even know if this person realizes it, but over the years, I'm like, why this person saying all the shit that I say? Why the person say, like, put out the products that I put out and try to talk how I talk? And so people, they're like, imitation is the highest form of flattery. And the finishing quote is something like, because this person, to signify mediocrity. Let's see. Highest flattery. Imitation. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. We need to finish this, y'all. See how we working together? This is what I love. Like, I've realized, this is cool. Okay, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. And so then when you start growing and becoming, you realize, like, oh, I'm here to be great. I'm here to serve in this way. Okay, if someone is imitating, I'm doing something great. This is validating me. Now, the comparison is when we get into comparative, or the other side of this duality is the comparative validation. Validation is normal, but the validation comes from inside of you. The validation that we all need must come intrinsically, knowing that you're on your path. Easy does not determine if it means you're on your path. Alignment does. Effortlessness does. Challenge does. Easy and hard have no place in what's aligned and what's misaligned. Okay? Easy and hard are just what they are. It does not signify that you're on the right path. You can be in the aligned relationship that you're meant to be in, and it's hard. Will you end it because it's hard? No, you reframe that because it's a challenge, because now you're assessing, am I being harmed here? Ahimsa. Is there violence happening against you? Are you living in non-violence? Are you talking well about yourself? Are you talking well about your partner? Are you talking, let's talk about work. Is work helping you to thrive? Is work helping you to think higher? Are you, who are you becoming? Who are you showing up as? Do you feel like yourself? Even if you don't know yourself, we all know what this baseline piece is. And sometimes when we don't, now that's a whole nother video. When you don't know what that feels like, you're like, oh my God, like peace. Oh my God, peace. And then you want to go and do something else. Then you want to go and live back in your comfort. You want to go do something to bring your nervous system back down. But our nervous system spikes not just because of danger, but what it perceives as danger. So something cannot be real and you feel threatened. You can walk in a room. I could walk in a room, y'all. This is no lie. I remember going out one time and I was sitting there by myself and I'm drinking my little drink. And this woman, like, I seen her multiple times, but then she comes up to me and she's like, oh, I had my purse in the chair next to me. I was like, yeah, you could sit there. That's cool. I'll move my purse. And she's like, you sitting here, that's intimidating. I said, am I intimidating or are you easily intimidated? Because people's perception of you, of being in peace with yourself, enjoying your own company, can be a threat. It makes people feel uncomfortable. One of the things that we talked about in class yesterday was how when Mahatma Gandhi's teachers or disciples came to the West, the U.S. West, Canada, all of that, and they were teaching these ideologies, right, about the yamas and niyamas. And when they came back, like the Westerners, like us U.S. Westerners, we have a hard time with self-love. So when we have people from the East that come over here and their level of confidence, we're like, how are you this confident? Like, what is wrong with you? And we're looking at them like, why are you this confident? Because in their culture, self-love, there's no room for self-hate. Character building stuff, sure. But the fact that they don't love themselves is not, that's not even, they can't comprehend. So Mahatma Gandhi, he had a hard time understanding, like, what do you mean these people are saying they hate themselves? What do you mean these people feel challenged? What do you mean? And the people, and so even now, us being in the West, people don't understand, how can I not look like what I've been through? How can I not look like what I've been through? By simply me loving myself and not looking like what I've been through, not being attached to that identity, not allowing these situations to be my identity. Come on, rich lifers. Our lives, the things that we do, the things that we experience just are. They are not who we are. They become who we are when we surrender to it and we say, okay, I surrender to these things that happen to me. I surrender to this way of being. I surrender to this life. And no, that's not, no. You are who you are, and you can't. Y'all see how the sun is rising with us this morning? Because today I knew, I was like, I'm doing my videos every day. I kind of talk to y'all. Y'all are like my best friend. That's exactly what it is. It's like I'm talking to my bestie on the phone. I'm like, we kicking, like, this is how we talk. My friends, we have higher minded conversations. And so the comparative validation looks like, you might be watching me and being like, okay, well, her skin is clear and her hair is so cute, and her nails, right? And then you might look at your nails, then you might look at your hair, and then now you're starting to feel some type of way based on what you perceived of me, not considering what I've gone through to get to this skin, and that is still healing, it's still becoming, not knowing what I've gone through with wearing my nails, because I love wearing stiletto nails, but I'm like, I'm feeling called to go to have my shorties, looking at my hair and not understanding that every day I wake up with bed and I have to do something. And so that also looks like, as humans, we all get caught into this. So there are times where I see other women, and this is the key. The key is not to stop the human emotions, but it's to respond healthily to the human emotions. The key is not to stop the human emotions, but to hold it healthily, to respond to it healthily. And I might see a woman who has more children than me, and her body is T. I get to be inspired by that. And sometimes, right, this is where comparative validation comes in. I might look at my belly, and then I look at her and I be like, damn, she look good. And instead, my old programming, my old of how I navigate is, wow, I want my body to look like that too. And my new programming is, yes, she looks so good. I'm in progress. I'm working on myself. I used to have all these body goals of what I wanted my body to look like. But the truth is, I just want to be myself. I like eating cookies and ice cream and stuff like that. But I know that in order to have a certain aesthetic, what that would look like. And when I'm ready for that aesthetic, that's what I would do. And so what we have to start doing is start taking the pressure of life off of us, yo. Taking the pressure of life off of us. There is no rule book, yo. We are literally living by a set of rules that people made the fuck up. We are living by a set of rules that people made up. But even when it comes to the yamas and niyamas, that's no different than the 10 Commandments. That's no different than the principles of Ma'at. That's no different than what else? What other, the Buddhist precepts? So there are so many spiritual languages that help us to live these ideal lives of peace and presence. But even with peace and presence, there is suffering, and no one wants the suffering. Whether we realize it or not, suffering has always happened. Our lives are filled with suffering. However, you can choose to transmute the suffering and turn it into wisdom, or you can stay in the suffering and allow the pain to continue. So, your endurance. I love y'all. Be great today. Be great every day. This makes me think about when I was a kid and I had my boombox and my cassette tapes, and I would record my episodes. I had no idea that this is what I would do, and that I would be here on here with you, right? So if you haven't already, be sure to join my email list at arichbook.com. Get the freebie Identity Fracture Finder to find out not where you need to fix yourself, but where are the gaps that you need to fill, that you're like, okay, I'm people pleasing, I'm being performative, I've lost myself somewhere along the path. I knew that I was on this trajectory, but then somewhere I got off. So we could get aligned and get the Identity Reclamation Toolkit at the founding price. It's $49.99, and you'll find out about that by being on my email list. Y'all, I love you, because once I drop that toolkit, you're going to have something to help guide you and walk alongside you while you're on your path to self-mastery. I love you. Until next time,